No, I meant from 20.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
20 to 21.
Hey, somebody liked my fruit.
Woo! Woo!
Random person. Alright, give it a sec. It's gotta say it's actually broadcast. Oh, it just takes a minute.
Yeah.
Because we're on the same Wi-Fi. There we go. Howdy, y'all. That's it. It's a couple seconds behind, so we're good. Go for it.
Hey! I'm TPAW. This is Crazy Peas.
I'm Karnage 6778.
And we're here to talk about random shit.
Like we always do.
Yep. This week I just decided to call it Shooting the Shit with Power. Or Shooting the Shite with Power. Whatever. He's got some videos he wants to run through. And then...
Met a few girls. Oh, wait, no. I'm supposed to say that. Oops! Well, I mean... Come.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Hi.
Oh, yeah. Found me a liberal bitch and got turned into a conservative. The hard way. She'll enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be the hard way.
That was kind of the whole point of that.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about some random shit, and I did listen to a bit more of 48 Laws of Power. I don't get to sit in the car all day and do DoorDash like he does, or Grubhub.
Because DoorDash told me to go fuck myself, so I gotta sign up you or Judy, and I do all the work, and then we'll split the cost.
Yeah.
I made 300. I get 200. I get 150 of it. Figure out the rest for the taxes and how much you're gonna keep.
Yeah. So I get to listen to it in slower, gradual amounts, but we might talk a bit about that, and I want to actually review the entire fucking thing once I'm done with it. But it is a super interesting book. It is free on Audible,
and it is mind expanding.
Yeah, like I would say that. I would say because before my initial thoughts in the very beginning was, oh, this just sounds like stuff that you learn in the corporate field, but this goes beyond that. Like there's
this goes into life and becoming like a king or president or governor or anything that is a position where you're doing well financially, and it tells you how not to screw up financially, because here's the idiots who did it wrong and here's how they got screwed in the end.
Yes.
That's what I like.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I was on doing my doom scrolling on Facebook, really I'm just looking for memes. And Audible decided to advertise the book because it's free and they like to advertise shit and stuff. And
because I told you about it too,
yeah,
probably because it heard it on your phone. It's
probably.
like, dude, push it's for free. Check it.
yeah, Meta does that. So sponsored by Meta, and I was popped in the comments a couple times because I wanted to see what other people had to say about the book and stuff, and quite a few of them actually talked about how some of the richest people in power have probably listened to this book. And I mean, it's been out since '97, so they likely read the damn thing first before the guy narrated it back in 2007. So, or sometime in that frame, because usually you narrated a book and then it takes a minute for it to be uploaded and then up. So, in that time frame. And so they talked about how some of the most influential and wealthy people have listened to this book and actually used the book a lot for guidance or for intel on how to make their decision making. And some parts of the book are on the verge of scary if you think about it, depending on the person that uses it. But at the same token, it is also useful because it talks about ways of creating a leg up on the social ladder and social skills and stuff like that. Stuff that Mr. Potato Head uses often, that's what I call him, without him really knowing that he uses it. Stuff that Karnage here has already admitted to using without even having to listen to the book, but the whole time he was probably listening to it.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
The first 24 hours listening to it, well, not even a full 24 hours, it was...
There we go, now I can lean back in the chair.
Yeah, go ahead, lean back in your chair. Actually, just scoot it back a hair, because I can always scoot more over. No, I meant that way. So that way you don't accidentally kick the laptop.
Yeah.
You just adjust it a hair, and I can always shift more over if need be.
Yeah.
Plus, it puts your little map in scene for your books.
Yeah, no,
But-
that map right there is the world that I am creating. Anyway.
But I listened to it for basically the first day. I listened to it the first day and a half because I listened to it for like 2 hours before I went to sleep. So
Mhm.
I got through the first 2 chapters or
Yeah.
rules. Same thing. And after listening to it, doing a grub club all day and just running around doing stuff, just listening to it, I'm like, I use like 90% of this shit on the daily. I'm like, I guess that explains my mindset. I want to become the ruler, but I don't want to be the ruler because then everybody's gonna be like, we hate you as our king, as our god, as our whatever title they're gonna give me.
Yep.
We hate you. You're not my antichrist. You're a good guy. But I like your ideal. But you're still an asshole.
Yes.
And I always think it's funny because yes, I am an asshole. You know I'm an asshole. But you still love me, so shut up.
Yep.
And well, and I was saying that, and then it went into that on one of the rules, and I'm like, that's just me in general.
Yep.
You're just like, yes, I am the biggest asshole in the group.
Yep.
And it's like, wait, did he just admit? Holy shit! And it gave an example of somebody doing that.
Yes.
And I think it was a Russian ruler, and it's like, we don't want you to be a ruler. Oh, you don't want me to be in charge? Okay, bye. Then everything went to shit. Come back! We didn't realize how much you were doing.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that was hilarious.
That was an interesting story to listen to because it's talking about it's mentioning Stalin, but there was mentioning another
Well, it
person.
wasn't Stalin, it was somebody else.
That's what I'm saying is
Okay.
they referenced the guy referenced Stalin in the story,
Oh,
but
yeah.
but it was someone else that nobody knows about. That,
Or remembers.
yes, or remembers that pushed a lot of buttons and pulled a lot of strings to get things moving in the right direction. But because of the rules that they were following, they did it in secrecy and shadow. And when they got
And a lot of
hated,
people didn't like what they thought they were doing.
yeah, and so they didn't like what they believed and perceived that they were doing. And then after things started to fall apart because that person just sort of pulled away, they then started clamoring back for
Help!
this
Come back, my
person.
Jesus, my
Yes.
Christ!
Yes, they were pulling back for him and being like, "Hey, come back!" And so
We're so sorry. We'll kiss your feet. We'll wash your toes.
Yes,
That
and-
sort of shit.
and then like the peoples in power, aside from Stalin, actually brought them back in so they could help with the power plays and get themselves back into the favorable public eye.
Oh yeah.
It was a
I
very
always
interesting
think that
history
shit's interesting as hell. That it's like, well, we don't like you because you're this. Okay.
lesson.
Let's
Yes.
see how long it'll take for them to say, "Come back, please help. We're stupid. We don't know what we're doing. We didn't realize you were so awesome." And for me, that's just the big, haha, stupid.
Yes.
Now you see how you were a dumbass when I called you a dumbass.
Yep.
And you ain't even gotta be mean about it. That's just one of those factoids where it's like, you're mean. I'm mean on purpose because I have to be this way. It's like the I played the sound effect. I don't even know what it is. I'd have to go look it up. But it's like, you don't know the struggle I've gone through to become this gentle.
Yes.
You don't know the battles I've been through to become this gentle. Ain't that right, Mike? Because he was talking to Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He knew it from his point of view, but he also knew it from Mike's point of view because Mike Tyson talks about it. Oh, I was crazy because this, and this, but now I'm so gentle because I had to go to that extreme to figure out how not to be that extreme.
Yeah.
So that was the awesome part for me. It was like, yeah, see, even Mike Tyson is like, oh yeah, no, you'll never know the craziness I had to go through to become this gentle.
Yeah. That's the thing is with our world is that those of us who are gentle or
Like to
evolve into being gentle and find that we like being gentle, we were violent or we had tendencies to be really angry before we even got to that point, and we had to go through a lot of learning experiences and learning curves to get to that point because it's I think it was Jordan Peterson or someone else that had said that you constantly quote a lot. It's not about being violent; it's knowing you can be violent and then choosing not to be violent.
No, it's not being gentle. It's being able to be the monster and use the aggression, but because you know and you can do it, knowing how to hold it back. It's the threat that you could be the monster. You could be that bad guy.
Yeah.
But you hold it back so that way you're not the bad guy. You actually look like the gentle person. But people who actually know you can go to that craziness.
Yeah.
I learned that and used that in my life. Not even thinking about it, but I mean when he said that little snippet, the quote,
Yep.
I was like, that's so awesome. Because it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah.
And he also talks about it with the meek will inherit the earth.
Mm-hmm.
The meek being the people who have the ability and are able to be, I guess, confrontational.
Yeah.
It's being the warrior with the sheathed sword. Put it in the sheath because you don't need to fight.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible verse means. Because the definition for meek nowadays isn't what it was originally the definition for it.
Yep.
So it's because I like it when Jordan Peterson talks about, I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast, one of the first ones he did, where he talks about that, how meek is looked like this weakling, but why would the Bible say those are the ones that can take over the world? No, it's not weak, it's you're soft because you know how to be hard.
Yeah. That's one of the, actually, you don't know, like, understand how much that actually spoke to me on a fundamental level.
Oh, I know.
Because, like,
because the way it spoke to me, I'm like, yeah, oh no, Thomas will love this snippet. I gotta send it to him.
Yeah, because it's like, in personal life, after a lot of trials and after a lot of stuff going on in my personal family life, especially with my dad, I got accused of anger issues. I got accused of all sorts of things. Like, not that they would ever admit that they have issues themselves, God forbid. But they would sit there and be like, oh, you got anger issues. You got all these different issues that you're dealing with or whatever. And they would say it in, like, that whole, we're well-meaning when really they're being passive-aggressive about it. Like, they're telling you, like, they're telling me that I have the anger issues without...
Yeah, it's you have the anger issues. It's not a fucking issue while they're stabbing you in the back.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then they're talking
Yep.
smack when I'm all around. And...
Or they talking in front of your face and try to hide it even though you know that's exactly what they're saying. It's like, dude, have the balls and actually say it to my face. Quit being a bitch and trying to hide your true feelings and intentions about talking shit. If you're going to talk shit, talk it to my face. That's like the issue we dealt with on Twitter.
Yep.
She talked to you, I'm like, no. You go to the source. Don't talk behind my back. You want to talk to me, you have something you have to say it to my face.
And they proceeded to spread a bunch of dirt on Twitter and make themselves look like some sort of hero or victim or whatever. Because people on Twitter love that shit.
But 90% of the people saw that it was complete bullshit. And that's where I went, you just showed your cards, you dumbass.
I was super glad that the people that I do associate with on Twitter that were part of, that were like associating themselves as like the other group. I was so glad that they were friendly about it and they were like welcoming. And they were like, yeah, come hang out with us. They don't want to hang out with that other group because the other group is the one that spited us and that's how we ended up together in the first place.
Well, what I liked about it is me doing what I did, because they listened to me and heard me when I talked, because I'm blunt, 100% honest, 100% of the time. It's my biggest fault, but at the same time, it's my biggest, that's me.
Yep.
And I love how I made it happen. I saw what needed to be done. I did it. And a lot of people who were unsure talked to you, and you told them the exact situation. And how I said, no, we're not doing this. Here's the line.
Yeah.
Don't cross it. And then immediately they crossed the line. I said, don't cross.
Yep. Because you put up a boundary, and you even told this respective person where you
at
were.
At the time it was respective, now it's just fuck you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest about that.
Yeah, and then I had to face the idea of, like, defend some stranger person that is supposed to be a friend and co-host on Spaces and podcast and whatever, or defend brother who is in person, who happens to be brother, and I'm married to his sister and stuff, and, like, she's asking me to take her side, and I'm like,
the whole thing, and you understood it, because me and you talked about it right before it happened, and when it happened, because I'm like, yeah, just watch this.
Yeah.
But we talked about it as, we don't see each other as an in-law, it's just, you're my bro.
Yeah.
You married my sister, you're part of the family, y'all have had kids, you're my brother. Conversation done, don't put in that bullshit in-law shit. Cause
that's
I
exactly
hate
what Nephi
that.
does, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Nephi, like, when we came down there today, he literally, like, it was kind of like
walking up, bro?
Yeah, it was kind of like walking up to Andrew and just talking to Andrew and stuff for a little bit and stuff,
yeah.
You know, brothers and stuff. And, you know, the words in-law do not apply.
Yeah, that's where I think me and Nephi, Robin, Amber somewhat, she's not all the way there, and a lot of the people in the family, other than Dad, because his head's broken and because he learned the bad skill from his mom, even though I love Nanny to death, even though she is dead. But that's neither here nor there. But I mean, it's the thing of, you gotta get rid of the stigma BS. And I believe that came from her sister, my Aunt Norma, great Aunt Norma, but the dumb bitch, and her ex-husband. Oh,
right.
The in-law treated my family like shit. That means all in-laws are bad. It's something that she let herself be programmed into, and either on purpose or not realizing it, programmed it to other people, like my dad.
Right.
Now, my Aunt Liz, my dad's sister, the youngest one, understands the whole get along with the in-laws. Because the man she married, his mom and dad are awesome. I mean, his dad just recently died. God rest his soul. But I mean, he was a good guy. Yeah. I love that man as much as I loved my own grandfather. Even though he was an in-law, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because he was my aunt's husband's dad.
Yep.
But I love those people. As far as I'm concerned, their family, they've always treated me with the best intentions and shown me the most love I could ever ask from somebody who's not blood.
Charlene was the one who pointed out when I brought up the whole Russell still doing that thing with the thing,
yeah.
With that terminology, and Charlene just kind of tilted her head aside and went, "Isn't he an in-law?" And I'm like, "Wait, yeah, I guess." And she's like, "No, he is an in-law. So why is he acting like that towards you when that would be applied to him too? If he's going to use
that's
that
what
logic."
he doesn't realize. It's in-law from his point of view. He doesn't see it from other people's point of view. That's the issue with it. Like, the issue is, like we've talked about, because his head got broken, because he fell down. My only issue is he got blessed, so it got healed, right? Because it's belief in the power, and also...
Apparently the power is limited.
No, it's not. because of the way the human body works.
I had to make the joke.
No, I knew what you were making. But the thing is, giving the blessing, believing in it, it manifests stuff. It manifested him getting better. But I don't even remember how long, because I was tiny. I was like 5.
Yeah.
5.5 when all this happened.
And you're like 40 now.
Yeah. But the thing is...
35 plus years.
But the thing is, it's the... Because half of his brain basically was shut off, and then it got turned back on. It's like magnetically wiping a hard drive, old school hard drive, but it still works, even though you magnetically stripped it so you could reuse it.
Yeah.
But because you're reusing it, it's got to remap everything else that it already previously had mapped out. So it might work slower, or might not be able to do the same thing it used to be able to with its original installation or use. because of the way it was cleared. So he knows what to do. His brain cannot process how to get there. He knows the steps. He has problems remembering stuff. Like when I blew up at him on Mom's birthday.
Yep.
It's, you know the steps. Stop doing this shit. Stop letting your PTSD control you. Do the steps you've learned from somebody you respect and you know they work. Use that shit. Quit going straight to here.
Okay.
And I saw it in his face. He got mad, but he knew I was right. So he just walked off and grumble, because he's still got the anger he's got to get rid of.
Okay, that reminds me. Yesterday, he was going off on the kids, right? And like, I don't remember exactly what they did, but
they did something, and he's like, y'all know better, or you should, because we've gone over this before.
And he's like, rah. Oh no, I had to do with Phoenix went into his room, and Russell was under the impression that she took stuff from his room, and so he went off on her. And I came out of the office because I was working and stuff, and I had to throw myself into an alternate thing, message Scott, hey, blah, 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 kids, blah, 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 stuff. And then I ran outside, and then was like, why are we yelling at the kids? And then he just, like, instead of him, like, being like, you know, this normal tone of voice of, like, okay, well, blah, 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 like he's expecting me to read his mind. Instead, it was, like, 10th degree, and I had to raise my voice, because at first I was talking normally like this. And then I had to raise it up, like 10 notches to match his, otherwise I wouldn't have been heard. And so I just started, like, yelling at him at that point and being like, you know, I basically said something along the lines of, stop letting your PTSD control you. You were just getting talked to about this by your son the other day. Why are we doing this again? And why, you know, the kids are going to learn this stuff from you, and then
it's a really bad habit.
It's a very bad habit, and then you're going to get mad at them later on, and then ask why they're doing it, and it's because you taught them in the first place. And I'm like, so if you want to keep teaching them bad habits like anger issues and yelling and stuff, then by all means do that, because then you're just going to punish yourself, because then they're going to do it to you, then you're going to get mad at them, and it's just going to be a never-ending cycle. How about you stop it now? And stop with letting your PTSD control you, or whatever it is that's going on in your head right now. Stop, pull back, and calm the hell down. And I, like, was yelling at that at him, and immediately he just was like, and like he was like trying to like counter.
It's the bluster of shit. I'm being told what to do, even though I know what to do. God damn it! Why does everybody see this and I don't? Because you get so far caught into the anxiety, which causes the PTSD, which makes you go into yell, scream, fight mode, even though you don't need to fight us.
Right. And
this isn't a fight. You need to control it so that way we can all get along, and this can be civil. Not civil, not we all killing each other. Civil.
Yeah. And literally, like, I did this. I put my hand up and said, no, stop. Breathe first, and then I walked the fuck away. And then, like, he just kind of was like, well, the kids, and then Amber just started, like, screaming at him, being like, the kids are just doing what the kids do, blah, blah, blah. And he's just all like, it's like, they need to learn, and I'm like, and you think yelling at them is gonna fix everything. And then he just kind of was like, we'll teach them, blah, blah, blah. So I went downstairs, pulled Phoenix aside, and started talking to her, got on my knees and talked to her. And
face
then,
to face,
face to face, and then like, and the whole time he just was like, stopped talking and was watching the whole time, and watched as I talked to her, and watched as I, you know, communicated to her and everything.
All cool, all collected.
Yep. And then I told her, I'm like, you know, go apologize to Grandpa, and go tell him you're sorry, which means you're not gonna do it again, right? And then I'm like, go give him a hug, and then I'm like, I know you're scared of him, I know he terrified you, and it's a lot to take in for a child. But go talk to him. And then, like, suddenly he was giggling at her, and they were talking and stuff, and she was going up to him, and was like, I'm sorry, whatever, and I'm just like going, and all this could have escalated if I didn't pull what a Tim did. Did pull a Karnage.
Hey, if it works, it works. If you're gonna jump, fine, I'll jump just as loud or louder. Because Carter's like, dude, I don't like this. I'm like, Connor, I had to do it at his level and a hair higher, so that way he knows he's hitting a wall. He can't run me over. Here's the steps. Here's what you're doing. Here's what you know what to do. Go do what you know works to get you out of this bullshit. He got pissed because he knew I was right. Now, did I need to yell? No. Did I have to yell? Yes.
In order to reset
Did
him,
I want to? No. It's the thing of, like, if Connor comes at me with anger, because I can feel it,
yeah.
I go back. And then I'm like, wait, why am I going at my kid with anger?
Right.
I have to take a second, like, okay, stop. We're going to angry. You're making me go into yell, scream, PTSD, PAPAW mode, and I don't want to do that, so let's do this.
Yeah.
That's like I had an issue this morning. I came, had to use the facilities, crapped myself, shit, went back home, changed out my unders after I'd already cleaned myself up here. Went home, changed my stuff, came back here for a minute, got a text from Connor, so I went and grabbed Connor, and then you texted me.
Yep.
But I went home, took care of the issue, then I'm being yelled at that there's a line to get into the bathroom. You've been in there 10 minutes. I've only been in there like 5 to 6, max 8. Because I got back at like between 15 and 20.
Yeah.
I got out, was putting my shoes on, so the bathroom was clear at like 28. So I'm like, okay, which means I was in there before you were yelling for like 5, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And I had to go potty again. So like, you're flipping your shit.
Overnight.
I had to come home. I said there was an issue. I came home to fix what happened. I used the bathroom. And I didn't tell her that. I just went and did it. You know, I'm back. Something happened. I need to take care of it. Just went and done. And she pulled a dad mode.
Yeah.
PTSD mode. And I told her, you know, it's kind of bullshit that you're pulling him by flipping your shit, even though I said something happened and I needed to take care of it real quick, but yet you can't let me be in the bathroom for 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes to take care of it before Mother Nature, or before anything. Well, I'm not like that. That's exactly what you pulled. You started banging on the door, screaming, and then when I didn't get out within a minute, you came back and started banging on the door, flipping your shit. It's like, you're doing a PTSD thing. You're flipping your shit. Like, I'm going to ruin the whole thing.
Yeah. It's like, they're going to the bathroom. Calm your ass down.
Mother Nature hit me in the wrong way this morning, so I went to go take care of it because I had to go home and change my damn drawers.
Imagine if you were stuck there for an hour because your stomach just didn't like you.
It was just an issue this morning. It was soft stool, and I thought I had it. Was coming into the house, you know, take care of it, and Mother Nature said, "Fuck you."
Yep.
I mean, I get that from Dad, because he has the same issues. It doesn't hit him as much as it hits me, and I think that's because of the CMT, shark cutlery tooth. For y'all who don't know or haven't heard me say that before, that's what I was saying. The whole disability, the 3 names for the whole disability is, but because I have weaker muscles, it hits me more often than it's ever hit him. I've seen it hit him, and it usually hits him whenever he tries something or does something with his diet. And I didn't do anything with my diet. It just happened to be, it hit me this morning at random.
Yeah.
So even if I'd have been here, you'd came out, and I'd still taken Connor to school, it might have hit me at the gym, which would have been a bigger fucking issue.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's super interesting. So, a couple more updates as far as things go in my life. I'm writing a new story called Prince of Brimstone. I am still editing Storms of Blood, but Prince of Brimstone is literally going to be a companion story and take place at the exact same time. And they're going to get packaged together as Storms of Blood and Brimstone. And I'm also going to be probably writing bits and pieces of future sequel novels as well, because my brain goes at a million miles a minute late at night. But those are a couple things I'm doing aside from, you know, doing more of the audio narration, which I'm getting closer to being finished. This is taking a while because life is busy and chaotic. I mean, last week we didn't podcast because I was having a
Moment.
week. Yeah, I was having a giant week, and decided to have him and I just go through the canyon, and so I could decompress and work through emotions and like mental track. 'Cause that's what
And for you, talk about issues, and then I make a joke.
Yep, and so we, even TPAW has it, has his stuff, and
Everybody has their days.
yes, and mental health is extremely important, and when that happens, yes, podcasting is also important, but you must take a break and deal with those things, because otherwise it can really ruin your flow and really ruin things. So we had to do what we had to do last week, and that's why we're here now.
Thus is life.
Yes, as you like to say. Now, what's funny is Luke and those guys are in a space right now. I'm about to join the space. They'd go, "Hey guys, you're on the podcast now."
Really?
Yes. What, is that a problem? Just for shits and giggles. See if they.
Land is brilliant but risky.
Oh.
100 acres square to cover without being seen. Of the 6 entrances, we
This
will
is my
utilize the
podcast
kitchens.
co-host, Paul.
The tricky part is to maneuver through the kitchens, the
Yes.
laundry, servant lobby, servants' quarters,
Yeah,
servants' bath, training
I've
room
got
bath,
this
and finally,
Podcast
blindly
co-host
entering the
is
training
Bro.
room with
And
an
I got
unknown
Paul,
amount of
who's the
peerage,
other
royal
like
knights,
me,
servants,
Bro.
hired help,
And which is on the
Which
Velo
had
podcast,
eaten
by the
nights
way,
along
which will be
the way.
continuing soon, because it's
exiting
been
will
finishing
be
the book to
another
listen to
story.
right now.
For if we make it out,
Oh, watch,
we
he's
now
gonna-
have to cover the same
Look, we
100
should leave him
acres
in
and
peace.
not get picked
He's
off.
reading it in the
by
space.
one. If we somehow make it to the
Well,
tree
then
line,
let him have his time to read his book then.
I was gonna say, "Hey guys, what's up?" But he's reading his book, so I'll just leave him
Yeah,
alone.
don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
You ready for some little BS sound
Sure.
bites? I got a boatload because we have podcasted.
By the
2
way,
weeks.
guys, that book, that thing you heard, if you liked any of what you heard, he's going to be publishing it soon. So, there you go, it was a sneak preview.
Yeah, and then he'll probably message you later when he sees it, or
Be like, "Son of a bitch." Or be like, "Hey, what's up? You plugged me."
If you love me or hate me, both are in my favor. If you love me, I'll always be in your heart. If you hate me, I'll always be in your mind.
I like that one. That's kind of the you want me to be the bad guy, I'll be the bad guy.
It's
you
not
want me
wrong,
to be
though.
the good guy, I'll be the good guy. I mean, it's the same mentality in my
Yeah.
head. It's the same message, it's just slightly different. The only difference that I like with the other one better is I turn my haters into my fans. I do
Yep.
more haters.
Yes.
that one's always my funny bit on that one. But here's another one.
Trust me because you're courageous.
There's
That's
Jordan.
why. It's the same reason that you're grateful. It's a mark of courage. It's a mark of commitment. It's like you and I could make an agreement, and you're full of snakes, and so am I. There's lots of ways this can go sideways. But we're going to put together an agreement. We're going to articulate it out. We're going to try to find something that is of mutual benefit to both of us. We're going to put our hands out and shake, and we're going to try to stick to that. And we're going to risk trusting each other. Right? It's a risk. I don't think that there is any other natural resource than trust. And for trust, you need courage, not naivety. Trust people because you're correct.
What do you think about that little snippet?
Play it again for the audience.
Trust people because you're courageous. That's why. It's the same reason that you're grateful. It's a mark of courage. It's a mark of commitment. It's like you and I are going to make an agreement, and you're full of snakes, and so am I. And there's lots of ways this can go sideways. But we're going to put together an agreement. We're going to articulate it out. We're going to try to find something that is of mutual benefit to both of us. We're going to put our hands out and shake, and we're going to try to stick to that. And we're going to risk trusting each other. Right? It's a risk. I don't think that there is any other natural resource than trust. And for trust, you need courage, not naivety. Trust people because you're courage.
I like that, actually. Because we all have trust issues. We all have
Our snakes.
our snakes. I wrote a book about it called Snake of the Dame. where it's Pit of Snakes, where it's it's talking about the good snake versus the bad snake, or at least the good snakes versus the bad snakes, and talking about relationships, talking about the tug of war of power, even down to like tug of war of power between a mother and a daughter. Like earlier today when we went down to visit Nephi and stuff, and I was watching Iceland have to deal with my kids, and she's not around kids very often now. Like she really isn't. She's like a single child who doesn't deal with kids very often.
Stuck around adults a lot. That's like Connor. That's why he deals with stuff a lot differently than the rest of the kids, because he's the first grandchild.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because that is true. It's so interesting how a lot of that is, because like in our world we deal with that daily. Like we deal with the fact that people will literally throw around the word snake often when they don't trust something, or they'll throw around Antichrist when it comes to a political leader,
or you're an ogre, or any of those other made
if you
up.
act nasty towards somebody, or if you act
You're an ogre, you're a troll,
or if they think you're
way.
being ugly because you're just simply honest, they'll also call you an ogre or something like that, or
An
call
asshole.
or an asshole. And
that one's my favorite. Call me an asshole. Yes, I'm honest. Thank you.
yeah, and so I find a lot of validity to that whole clip there.
That statement.
Yep.
All right, ready for the next one?
Sure.
I was looking at your little snitch.
A scar on the face, some sort of speech. What they're indicating is that this person hasn't paid for price. So the difference between the villain and hero is one thing, it's how they respond. Yeah, because they were abandoned also. That's right. And the villain says, the world hurt me, I'm gonna hurt it back. And the hero says, the world hurt me, I'm gonna hurt this out. Wow. It's just literally how you decide to react to pain that causes you to be the villain.
That defines Peter and Braxton.
Well, I mean, that also is what I say. From your own personal point of view, you don't look like the supervillain, but yet you're somebody else's supervillain because